Welcome to Grim Dark Gains, a weekly podcast where we help you ascend from a Stormcast Liberator into a Celestin Prime. Today, we will be answering how not to be the biggest loser or how to lose weight and actually keep it off. But before we dive into today's topic, as always, we will chat about our life, lifting, and hobby. Hello, Eli. How are you?
Hello, Alex. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. I'm all right. I'm all right. I was mentioning to you before the podcast started that I'm taking a little bit of a caffeine break. Was pushing it a little bit too hard with caffeine for weeks, if not months. So I decided on Sunday, I didn't have anything to do. I'm like, okay, no coffee today, no caffeine. And I decided, well, could as well do it 2 days. And usually what I do for caffeine break, because I'm interested to see what you do. What I do is just take 3 days off entirely, right? So cold turkey. Usually the first day, for me, the first day is usually okay. I often do it on a Sunday, so I have no responsibilities. And then the second day, Mondays, are usually much harder. That's when the headache kicks in. I get migraines from it, but I do get a headache. And the energy is just super low, right? And then by Tuesday, it kind of evens out, especially if I get good sleep. But I just don't have like a desire to do things. I just kind of want to lay down. Like I have no motivation to do anything today, but I will. And then tomorrow will be the best day ever because that's the day I'm going to reintroduce caffeine.
Nice.
And literally like 1 cup of coffee is enough for the whole day when you reintroduce it, right?
Yep.
And the goal is just not to get that out of hand, which usually means that in a few months it'll be out of hand and I have to take a break again.
Yeah, naturally.
What do you do for your for caffeine? Do you take breaks?
Not very much, even though I
No,
should. But, I mean, I generally don't have caffeine that much when I'm traveling, but it depends. Like, if I have the opportunity to have coffee, it's hard to say no, especially if I'm at the in-laws and they have a fancy coffee machine and it's tasty and nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, but if I take a break, then yeah, I usually just do a couple days and then I have pre-workout again. But I need to take a break as well.
What are you pushing on your high caffeine days? Where are you at now?
I try to always just stay under 400 milligrams.
Okay. So you're doing the reasonable thing, and I do the same thing, but it's still, eventually it adds up.
Yeah. I need to take a break from pre-workout at least. Coffee seems to not affect me too bad, and it seems to work most of the time. But recently, the pre-workout has kind of just been making me sad and like tired and not feel good. So
That's
like,
interesting.
Yeah, quite the opposite of what it's supposed to do. But I had coffee as my pre-workout drink instead of actual pre-workout today, and it was much better. So I don't know.
Why is that? Why do you think it was making you? Were you taking too much ashwagandha again?
No. I really don't know. Really don't know. Just some weird thing, I guess. I don't know. It was Total War pre-workout. I googled pre-workout making you sad, and some guy was also talking about his Total War making him sad. So like maybe it's something in the in that brand specifically.
I've never taken Total War, so I am interested in the ingredients.
Usually it's pretty good, but it just wasn't hitting today for some reason. Or
Maybe it's just after you take it for a long enough time, you accumulate something that's in there.
Yeah.
It also could be like genetic. Like not everybody gets it, but somebody's maybe extra sensitive to a certain ingredient.
Yeah, true. I was finding I was feeling worse and less motivated during my workouts, and then like 2 hours or 3 hours later, I was feeling good and having decent energy.
Yeah.
Very weird and annoying.
It has all the stuff that we're already familiar with, like the common things, citrulline, beta-alanine, taurine. It does have a few things that I've never heard of before, like the biopirine and neiringin. Literally, it's like
that is.
Yeah, fruit extracts. It's a very small amount, so I doubt it's doing anything, but who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. Regardless, I need a break from pre-workout.
Yeah.
And
everybody could stand to take a break from caffeine, especially if you can do it. Like if you don't have like a ton of work or need to be super sharp, just take a break, and then you'll reap the benefits again. And you got to do it periodically. But you do a pretty good job. You have a, I think we mentioned in the podcast before that when you don't work out, you tend to keep it relatively low.
Yeah, generally. As long as I don't have coffee. If I have coffee in the house, then I will have like 4 cups of coffee that day, and just like, yeah. Especially if it's like a season like this, where I have stuff going on every other day, so I'm like barely dieting, and I'm usually eating too much for social events and stuff.
Yeah.
On my rest day, I could just have 4 cups of coffee and have like 1.5 meals that day of high protein, and make back all of my like caloric surplus in one day. Yeah. It's really easy to drink coffee and skip meals.
It's a very cool hack if you use it sparingly, right? Because caffeine is appetite suppressant, right? So you stay hydrated still from the water with the coffee. It tastes good. A lot of it is really tasty. Yep. So yeah, no, I totally hear you. We have a local coffee maker. I don't know what they're called, but they make really good flavored coffee. Usually flavored coffee is like kind of garbage. It tastes like they put candy syrup in coffee.
Yeah.
But we have a local coffee place, and they make their own beans. And they put their own flavors, and I don't know what they do, but it actually tastes great.
Nice.
So I have this coffee. It's called Jamaican Me Crazy. It's like coconut and chocolate.
That sounds pretty
very,
nice.
very. Dude, I make the whole pot. I'm like, I'll make it last 2 days. I'm like, no, it's always drink the pot in one day.
we have coffee places here. I should go and get stuff from them. I only ever buy stuff from like Safeway, so it's just mid.
Dude,
but
you have a great like organic coffee brand. It's in a black coffee in a black container is very surprising. I know. What's it called? Every time I go to Canada, I get it. It's Kicking Horse.
Yeah, okay, that was the only thing that came to mind. Yeah, that's what I have right now, and it is quite nice.
Yeah, so. Dude, every time I go to Canada, I get that because it's really good.
Yep.
Well, shout out if you're in Canada, Kicking Horse coffee is very, very good coffee, and they have decaf too. So if you want for decaf, it actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah, I found out decaf has caffeine in it. I never knew. It's just like a very tiny amount.
Tiny bit. Yeah, because decaf is not non-caffeinated, or what are they called? Uncaffeinated? Non-caffeinated?
Whatever. Same thing.
Like herbal tea would be non-caffeinated, but decaf black tea would be decaf, which means it would have like a few milligrams. It's nothing, right? I would say if you're a person who doesn't drink caffeine, then you'll probably feel a little bit from it. But if you're like you and Eli, like me and Eli, then you're not going to feel it. You can have it before bed and it will not do anything to you.
Yeah. Coffee is crazy. Coffee works like so much faster for me than other...
Really?
Like if I drink coffee, I feel it like... Maybe it's placebo, but I honestly feel it after like the first couple sips. Like immediately almost. And then pre-workout, I don't really feel much until I've drank all of it. And then, I don't know, it hits fast. And then it also like crashes faster than regular pre-workout for me. I
don't know. I mean, caffeine sources matter, right? So how fast they absorb. But I personally never paid attention enough to notice. But maybe I will. Maybe I will now.
Well, how is your hobby, sir?
Dude, it's nearly... I don't have any pictures. It's nearly non-existent. Technically, I did get some done from last week on a few of the ghouls. I did get the green painted. Yeah. But yeah, I was embarrassed to send it to you because I'm like, it's like 7 models with like green cloth painted. That's only a hobby in the last week.
I'm in the same boat. Don't worry.
Are you really?
Yep. So,
dude, we're the worst hobby and fitness podcast ever.
It looks like you read. I got Manslayer pulled up right here. So that's something, right?
Yes. So I did read. I actually was doing a lot of reading lately because I was trying to avoid like watching shows in my rest time and actually doing something a bit more relaxing. It's easier to fall asleep after reading, I feel like, than after watching a show.
Yeah.
So I did finish number 9 or 10 now. In the
Holy cow.
Dude, it's such a good series. Like I could, if I have the time, I can literally read a book in less than a week from Godric and Felix series. It's so good, which is not impressive for some, I know, but for me, it's pretty good. And Manslayer was really good book. On my stories today, actually, which would be a week ago,
Yep.
when the podcast releases. I gave it an 8.6.
Wow.
I think it's a great book. I don't think it's as good as the first three of the series. The first three is just like 9 plus, I would say, out of 10. Right? It's really, really great books. This is really good. It brought some of the old characters. The villains were interesting. I would say they were creative, but they were kind of like forgettable. Like I don't think I'll be thinking about those villains for a long time. But yeah, it was overall the action was nonstop. It honestly felt kind of almost like a video game because you're like in these different locations completing this quest. So definitely a fast-paced read. I would recommend if you're looking for something that is not gonna make you think too much, but is also like exciting and well written. I'll say I really, really always enjoy them. I already started reading the next one. It's the Elf Slayer. It's very good as well. Once again, brought up some of the old characters from the previous books. So it's once again a very good book. And so this is one more thing I will say. I was a little worried because this is a new author, Nathan Long. And the last one was Orc Slayer. And Manslayer felt very similar in a way that it almost read like a mystery, where you're like not sure. Because with the Orc Slayer, the whole time you don't know who the enemy is until the very end. With Manslayer, you're also guessing like who is the enemy, is this cult, who is the real bad guy. But it kind of is not. It doesn't wait until the very last end to reveal who the enemy is. And I was worried: is that his thing, right? Is that how he writes? Is he just going to be like, okay, well, there's an enemy, there's something going on, there's murder, and we don't know who even the reader doesn't know who the villain is until the very end. But then, thankfully, this last book, Elf Slayer, I'm about a third of the way through, and it's not the case. You know who the villain is almost from the get-go, definitely by the first third. So I was relieved to see that he's not stuck in one writing style. So very, very good.
Is the wizard Marcus Schweber? Is that the wizard, or is that a different character?
So the wizard is Max Schreber.
Max.
And
I love that guy.
close.
I remember really liking that character.
Yeah, and he does come back in the book I'm reading right now. Spoilers. But it's not really spoilers. Right. Well, no, it's not. That's not. That may or may not be him. I'll put it that way. So
yeah, I did.
No.
Doesn't he dress fancy? I don't remember him looking like the classic fire mage. I don't even remember what kind of mage he is, but I remember him being cool and quite powerful.
I don't want to put. I mean, the book. Okay, the series is 20 years old. So Max is a light mage.
Okay.
So he's not a fire mage. So it's a little bit different. No, we know that he's a light mage since book 3.
Okay.
No, since book 3. Yeah, we know that he's a light mage. So, okay. Yeah, it's a very. I mean, it's a very soft spoiler. I would say, if anything. The Max is really not under suspicion in that book, Manslayer. So.
Okay. You went to a wedding, I see.
I did, yes. The wedding.
Stuff. Whatever that cake thing was, you posted a video, little it looked pretty good.
So it's a Western Pennsylvania tradition for weddings not to have cakes, but at least have a cookie table. And it came, apparently, I was told it came from old time where they couldn't afford a cake. So everybody would bring cookies and there would be like a shared cookie table, right? And now they have both. So the wedding obviously had both. They had cookies and cupcakes and everything. It's a tradition where literally, I think every wedding I've been to in Western Pennsylvania, you have a cookie table. Everybody gets a box and you fill up that box with cookies.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool. So you go home with a box of cookies.
Nice.
Pretty great. And I met a random cat. It was the wedding was at a church, and the pastor was living right on the property of the church, and he had outside cats. So nice. I, at some point, went outside and hung out with cats for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
great time.
It's cute. He looks comfy, but he looks cute.
Yeah, they were a bit skittish. It was I think 2 brothers. They were kittens.
Nice.
I love cats, dude, and it was a good time.
Doing some incline barbell bench press of like
dude,
pounds. Pretty nice.
Yeah, man, it was it felt really good. I haven't lifted very heavy. I really had motivation to lift heavy. So this was the heaviest I lifted in definitely since the cut started.
Nice.
So almost 2 months now. And yeah, it felt really good. I put some weight in the bar. I didn't feel the strongest, but I just wanted, like the mentality was I really want to lift heavy weight.
Yep.
So I did. I think I did it for three or four reps, and it felt very good. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think we're both in a similar spot for training right now. It's just not very.
Dude.
It's not very fun. We have too much stuff going on in real life. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I like, on one hand, like I have the pride slash determination to like, okay, stick to the course, stay on the cut. But the other hand, I'm like, am I just spinning my wheels and just being prideful and stubborn? Or like, should I focus on maintenance or even do like a mini bulk right now? Because I kind of feel like I've been spinning my wheels because life has been busy and stressful. And obviously with losing the account, it was mentally affecting me dramatically. So I'm like, maybe I should switch something up right now. So I'm going to think about it for a week. That I want to make a rash decision. And then I'm going to decide if I want to continue the cut or if I will switch in different direction. I mean, last podcast we literally talked about it, whereas I personally tend to switch too much. So I don't want to be rash about it, but I also don't want to be just stubborn for the sake of being stubborn if I'm going to continue spinning my wheels and not see much progress either way. Because I do feel like last week, I haven't seen much progress with the cut, right? Because of so many things going on.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, and for me, like it is more of a prideful because I don't have a show coming up, right? So I don't have that responsibility. It's purely a me thing.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should stick it out.
Yeah.
Like continue.
Fair.
So I'll keep you updated. You'll find out next week.
Yeah, fair. Honestly, if you're not like decently overweight, it's hard to keep motivation for a cut. I really can feel that because I don't look very good right now. It's easier for me to like know that I'll probably want to cut for another like 2 or 3 months and just try and not get more fat this summer. But like, it's not like I'm gonna turn around and start bulking or anything. I'm just like kind of just trying to survive, and then I know I'll cut more. But if I was like 10 pounds less from this point, and I looked like okay, but not great, it would be very hard to keep motivation and not want to just bulk.
And you do have a show, right?
Eventually, don't know when. It depends on travel plans and stuff, but either in spring of 2026 or fall of 2026. We'll see.
Okay, so you don't have a show that soon, so you'll still probably go for another bulk and then cut.
The show was supposed to be in this 2025 October.
That's what I thought.
But since I moved, and since summer is, well, swiftly becoming my least favorite season, we decided not to, and I'm really glad that I decided not to. There's been so much traveling, so much moving. It would have been so awful to be in prep right now. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah. All the stressors, you have to be like. I think there's definitely a man thing where you're like, I can do this. I can, all those things happening right now. I can push through. I can handle it. But I think it takes some humility and recognizing, like, okay, you're a person. You're a human being. You can only handle so much. Yeah. So that was why.
I could definitely do it, but it'd be to the great detriment of many other aspects of my life. So.
Right.
And that's already the case with prep, but in such a busy season, it would be tenfold. So I don't really feel like being miserable. Yeah. There's birthdays and traveling for family and like all this stuff. I don't want to be miserable for all of these events. And I don't want to I would like to help my wife unpack and get our house sorted out. Yeah. And, so I have...
Sorry, honey, I have to do all the cardio. Please unpack this for us.
Yeah, seriously. I have been unpacking more. As you can see, the books are getting out finally. I'm missing half of the models in my displays there because I had to take them down for a game or two in the last month. But other than that, that's some stuff that's happening. I spent like 3 or 4 hours yesterday unpacking stuff, so we're like halfway there, I think, which is pretty nice. Yeah.
Good.
Hobby for me, though, is also pretty negligible, unfortunately. I built 3 noise marines, so that's something.
Hey, that's something. You go.
I'm going off in my Hearts of Iron playthrough. As we can see, I this isn't even the most up-to-date picture. Actually, I've taken Tibet and Zibai, San Ma, and Shaanxi and stuff, and Yunnan. So that's not even a good picture, but winning there, just doing that a little bit of that while I work at the same time.
That's still the same campaign, right?
Yeah, yeah. I could probably just start a new one because the Axis have won. There's really nothing the Allies
Sure.
can do. But
Yeah.
anyways, I got a new audio setup, so I'm happy with that. Getting more into the voice acting stuff and really going hard on the narration, which is cool.
Yeah, that's good.
As I showed you before, it doesn't really fit on my desk. It goes beside my desk and is standing on a big tripod. But for like recording like this, where I'm sitting down, I need it to be a little bit closer to me. So I put it on my desk and it's awkward. You already know that. The Nightbringer has a new model, so that's cool.
Dude,
Quite
it's pretty
pleased
cool.
about
It's
that.
like much bigger than the old one, right?
Yep, he's quite gargantuan. The Nightbringer himself, like the dude, is actually a similar size to the old model, but
Okay.
he has the classic like tactical base floating on stuff
Sure.
that makes him
Sure.
gigantic, and his cloak is very big.
Right.
But he's cool. He's shiny and chrome and cool. I'm happy with him. Necrons rarely take any L's in Warhammer nowadays, which is awesome because
Sure.
they're the best faction. So, yeah.
Pretty cool, dude.
That's
Tell
it.
me a bit of lore, because I don't know anything about Necrons. Tell me about him.
The lore for what? Just Necrons in general?
No, for the Nightbringer.
Oh, he's a Catan shard, so it's like these beings that are like the fabric of reality. They existed since the very beginning. Allegedly, they fought the old ones in a big war, and they got reduced to these floating space dust creatures that were kind of just like mindlessly wandering, eating stars. The Necrons discovered them and came into contact with them. The Deceiver, Mefrich Ran, he did not go by the name of the Deceiver at this time, obviously convinced the Necron tier people that the old ones were also their enemy and to give them living metal bodies. So they did that. They gave them bodies of necrodermis to inhabit these basically godlike beings, and they took on forms that were similar to the Necron tiers pantheon. Whatever they go about, they beat the old ones because the Catan are like literally godlike beings, but they also deceive the Necrons into biotransference, making them the Necrons from the Necron tier. So after the war in heaven, the Necrons, the Silent King decides that he wants to get rid of these Catan because they're very evil. So he destroys them, but you can't fully destroy them because they're the fabric of reality. They only fully got rid of one, and it unleashed the flare virus on the Necrons and kind of messed up reality. So they shattered them into shards and put them in these. Well, they just have control over these shards now, basically. So the Nightbringer, the Void Dragon, all of them are these fragments of gods that are under the control of the Necrons, and they also use them for great power sources. The Nightbringer, as a Gorad, is basically like Grim Reaper. Is the aspect of death. He's the like in all mythology, the Grim Reaper, all death mythology is just him. He makes you feel like incredible dread. Even just the shard is like terrifying. He sucks the life out of people, etc., etc.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. If only I could have a PhD in Necron lore. I could be a whole professor.
You can be a professor. You can be teaching at school.
Yep. Other than that, though, we went to the in-laws over the weekend for my wife's birthday. They're like 5 hours away, so stayed there for the weekend. That was enjoyable. Not much fancy things to say, just did that. I played Wingspan. It's a board game, like a engine building bird board game. Pretty fun.
Wingspan.
That
actually sounds
pretty
familiar.
popular nowadays.
Yeah, I think I've played it once. A lot of arguments in that game.
We didn't have many, thankfully.
Oh, cool, man.
All right. Should we get into
Yeah, not a lot for either of us. Sounds like just like busy,
Just
but not
summertime.
not with hobby. I am so committed, dude. I've been wanting to take this army to the Wednesday hobby night, but I can't take them until they're painted. I'm struggling with 500 points. I'm thinking like I can get it done. I can get it done. Like it's Wednesday tomorrow. I won't get it done.
Yep.
Anyway, shall we dive in? All right. So, how not to be the biggest loser, or how to lose weight and actually keep it off long term. For those of you not familiar with the Biggest Loser show, it was huge reality TV slash weight loss show that was primarily done in the States, but I think they've done other countries as well. And basically what happens is for a period of time, the competitors' only responsibility is lose weight, right? And they're competing against other people. I don't know exactly how many, but they do it for 6 months. So they have trainers there, they have food there, everything is done for them. But they do have the ability to choose between healthy and unhealthy food. So they're kind of forced to work out, but they don't necessarily have to eat healthy because they actually, in the show, apparently, they would actually have this temptation challenges to like, hey, here is 5,000 burgers, right? And if you eat them, there's going to be repercussions, but you're going to obviously not lose as much weight. So there's very, very, very strong emphasis on exercise, much less so on nutrition, it seems like. And there's a big emphasis on cardio as well. There was some strength training involved, but it was almost like CrossFit style strength training, where you're just doing it more for cardiovascular sake versus actually getting stronger. And the person who lost the most percentage of their weight in 6 months would win $250,000. Right. So there's also a big incentive to win the money by losing weight in 6 months.
Yeah.
So in the end, most of the contestants did lose the weight. Right, so it was very few people who didn't lose the weight. So most of the contestants did lose the weight, but many of them gained most of the weight back after the show, and some even gained more than what they lost. Right, so 5-10 years later, they were actually heavier than when they came on the show. Some of them, not everybody. There's a few examples, and the reason I say is because there's a documentary just came out on Netflix. I think it's Fit for TV. The Reality of the Biggest Loser, I believe is what it's called. I'd recommend it. It's a short series. I think in total it's like 2.5 hours for the 3 episodes. So it's really not that bad. Very interesting. Some people did succeed. Some people did not succeed in the show, but then lost weight later on in life with other methods, right? And some people obviously lost the weight in the show and then gained all of it back, if not more, after the show. So, and Eli, you're familiar with the show, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, very
good old,
I think most
early 2000s type of thing.
Dude, it went on until 2017.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? I did not know that. Mm-hmm. That was crazy. But then, honestly, it was canceled primarily because we had the whole like fat shaming thing season going on, remember? So that's why it was eventually canceled, because calling people fat wasn't cool anymore. There. And it was obviously kind of like trying to help people, but also was kind of like low-key making fun of them.
Yeah, so there's plenty of humiliation.
Yeah. It wasn't like, hey, we have your best interest in mind. It was more like, hey, you're fat, you're of less value, so we'll make fun of you and make you feel bad enough to lose weight. Kind of hate yourself into health sort of thing, which we know.
I hate game shows. I hate a lot of game shows where they make contestants do like humiliating things. It feels like I'm watching a Black Mirror episode. I remember, this is completely off topic, but like I remember being at my ex's house many years ago, and her family was watching some like ridiculous humiliating game show and like laughing, and I actually felt like I was in a Black Mirror episode. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Glad I didn't marry that woman.
Dude, Black Mirror is like 20% further than where we are right now, right? So we're not even that far from reality. But yeah, basically the whole premise is hating yourself into health, right? The trainers would yell at them to like, you piece of crap, you got to finish the workout. And in general, it was kind of painful to even see the clips of the show. Though some people had very good motivation to be on there.
Yeah.
So, and I think the show summarizes the obesity problem in the West pretty well. That we have an obesity problem. We don't necessarily have a weight loss problem. We have a weight loss retention problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, I would like to talk about a few things, right? So why do people not succeed after seemingly succeeding on the show? Why did they not succeed long term and regain the weight? How to make sure you succeed long term with losing weight and keeping it off long term? And maybe a couple of things to avoid as like big red flags of what not to do. Mm-hmm. So, let's give credit where it's due and tell the show a few things they got right? So they put people in a calorie deficit, which is the only principle of losing weight, right? You cannot lose weight by any other medium, right?
Yeah.
And calorie deficit, we mentioned in the show many times, happens either by eating less calories than you expend and or by burning more calories than you expend, right? So let's say you are expending 1,000 calories a day. You could eat less calories. You could try to expend more calories by exercise, or you could do both of those things. And they did both, right? So credit where credit's due. They did succeed in people losing weight because they were in a calorie deficit. That's pretty much it.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
So, Eli, you tell me, if is it a good idea to try to lose literally as much weight as possible in 6 months? Like the goal is to lose as much weight as possible. You have a 300-pound person, and they are trying to lose as much weight as possible.
No.
Why not?
Generally not, because you'll have to go to pretty great lengths, because you're going to plateau and you're going to need to do even more, and you're going to overreach yourself very much and work way harder than you are supposed to or can reasonably. And then when the time is up, you're not going to keep that weight off because you have to go back to living like a normal person eventually. And it's all going to come back, or most of it will.
That's right. And why do you think that happens? Like, what are the factors in play?
Well, for something like the show, you have a very obvious goal and you have a lot of pressure, and if you don't meet that goal, you're going to be humiliated, and you're trying to win something, but that's the only reason you're doing it probably, or at least the major reason why you're doing it. So when you take that reason away, there's a whole lot less incentive to keep doing that afterwards.
Yeah. 100%. And I think on the show, even from the series, from documentary, a lot of the people were going into it trying to get healthier, but they even mentioned like this is not about health anymore, right? I mean, one of the winners was like peeing blood because he was so dehydrated when for his final weigh-in, right? It was like, come on now, like that is not.
It's crazy.
It's the opposite of health, right? Like we went from weight loss being healthy to weight loss at any cost possible. Like, I'm surprised nobody chopped their limbs off, right? To lose the weight. So yeah, absolutely. And I think to a smaller extent, that's what happens in real life as well. Somebody gives himself a goal. I want to lose 100 pounds. At all costs, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, no matter what it takes. I'm going to power through it. I'm going to fast. I'm going to eat just like a protein shake a day, right? And they do it, and they achieve it, and then their life is no longer is no better, right? They still have problems, still have issues. So they thought it's going to fix all their problems. It doesn't. And then that false idol falls down and they gain the weight right back.
Yeah.
So that's definitely part of it. Another part of it is losing weight so fast is probably not a good idea unless somehow it happens naturally for most people. Because if you have so much fat to begin with, right? It took a while to put it on. And those, the fat cells, as you know, never disappear.
Yeah.
Right? They just shrink.
Yeah.
So the hormonal signaling is going to still be there, right? So so you still will have those same cravings, the same hunger cues of an obese person in just a smaller body. So it's much better to do it slowly and steadily and adapt to those responses slowly. Instead of it like screaming in your ear, feed me, cravings in just 6 months, right? I would rather my client lose 25 pounds a year and do it for 4 years rather than lose 100 pounds in 6 months and then gain it all back in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I know. It's very important. Your metabolism also will change a lot. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I guess we can mention that is your metabolism, right? So anytime you lose weight, your metabolism will slow down. And metabolism would just mean how many calories you burn at rest, right? So without exercise. Anytime you lose weight, your metabolism will slow down. Your body will adapt. However, if you lose weight very fast, do you tend to hold on to muscle very well?
Not really. Not really. Unless it's in a very short period of time.
Right. Exactly. So if you lose a ton of weight, a lot of weight, very fast in a 6-month period, you will lose a lot of muscle mass. Right? And your metabolism, for most people, is primarily correlated to their lean muscle mass. So your organ tissue certainly plays a role, right? But then after that, you look at muscle mass. And the reality is, if you lose 50% of your muscle mass while you're losing 100 pounds of fat at the same time, your metabolism will slow down a ton. So if you lose weight slowly and steadily, while also prioritizing resistance training and maintaining muscle, maybe even building some if you're a total newbie, you actually will be coming out with a healthier metabolism if you didn't do that. Very good. All right, so that's one of the reasons people regain the weight very fast after the show. Any other reason you can think of why people would regain the weight after doing it in that manner?
I mean, they likely don't have guidance anymore. I imagine they don't continue supporting them, so they're kind of probably just thrown to the wolves and do what you can. I don't know, whatever. Eat what you want and figure it out by yourself. So that probably doesn't help.
Right. Yeah. No support system, no accountability, no trainers, no post-show goals. Right. And I think that happens with people with something of real life, not people on the show, right? When they follow a diet, right, and that diet does help them to lose weight, but then they go off of that diet, so they no longer have that structure, and then they gain the weight right back.
Yep, that's why I don't like things like keto. It has to become a whole lifestyle, and if that's not something you're willing to do, then it's not going to work out that well. So
yeah, with diets, unless you can sustain like 95% of that diet for the rest of your life, otherwise it's not very helpful. Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about some principles that we would recommend for losing weight instead of the principles that were incorporated. And let's talk about how to lose weight first, and then I'm going to talk about how to maintain the weight loss. And we can kind of go back and forth until one of us runs out.
Yeah.
So number one, I would say, is just go slow, right? You have time. There's no time limit. So don't try necessarily. It's good to have a goal, right? So it's good to set yourself a goal to lose so many pounds of weight per week. And it really depends on your starting weight. But I would say anywhere between 1 to 3 pounds a week for most people is plenty. Right? And people on the show were losing like 10, 15 pounds a week consistently. After the first glycogen loss, like, what the heck are you doing to lose that weight, right? So after the initial crazy weight drop, which will happen to everybody losing weight, 5, 10, even 15 pounds, not unreasonable. After that, anywhere between 1 to 3 pounds a week is a success.
Yeah, 3 pounds is a lot,
right?
Too.
3 pounds, I'm thinking if somebody is like 300 pound plus
really
person.
Big, then yeah.
If you're really big. But for most people, 1 or 2 pounds a week is super reasonable. Even if it's less, if you're not that big of a person, just have some bit of fat to lose, is still good. But for most people, 1 to 2 pounds, 3 pounds if you're bigger, but not 10 pounds a week, right? Go slow, go steady. Any loss is good. And you'll be much more likely to maintain more muscle mass and sustain those results because your cravings are not going to be screaming in your ear so loudly.
Yeah. That is probably, go slow is my number one advice as well. But I guess...
Wait, say it again?
Going slow is probably my number one advice as well, I would say. That's what I try to tell everyone. But people don't want to go slow. People are very impatient, and it is hard because it does take longer, and then that's harder to like keep the mindset going. But it's always going to pay off if you go slow and steady. I guess for my thing, you gotta adapt and you have to change things. You can't keep doing the same thing forever and expect it to work. Unless you're really overweight, then you have a lot longer and a lot more leeway, generally, to stay in the same deficit for a really long time and keep losing weight. But you're gonna...
I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. You have to increase your deficit and increase your cardio as time goes on. Depends on how much you weigh and how much muscle you have and on how many times you'll have to adjust and how much longer it'll take. But pretty consistently, you have to keep lowering your deficit and you're going to have to keep increasing your cardio, one or the other or both. And you just have to be willing to do it. And then you also have to know when to stop.
When you stop and take a break, focus on maintenance, rebuilding the metabolism almost, right? So I even if you're a bigger person, if you hit a wall, right, mentally, physically, take a maintenance break, right? Let's create this scenario. Somebody's 300 pounds. They have 120 pounds to lose to get to a healthy weight, right? So they're doing great. They lost 60 pounds, but they're just not losing any weight. They're teetering around the same amount. They hit a wall. Focus on maintenance. You will gain 10 pounds. You maybe even gain 15 pounds, but for the next 3 months, 2 months, whatever, do a maintenance phase. Don't try to build weight, but you'll gain water weight, right? It will happen. Maybe even build a bit of muscle. Do a maintenance phase, 2-3 months, and then do a cut again with renewed energy, renewed strength. Metabolism now is no longer, 2,200 calories. You're at 3,000 calories again. So, you lost another 40 pounds, right? So now you're at 60 plus 10 back, so 90 pounds weight loss. Well, you're almost at your goal, right? And you hit a wall again, do another maintenance phase. A lot of people think they need to keep going, and always be in the negative, always be losing weight. Most people will not sustain that long term, right? Yeah. And it's better to gain the weight back intentionally than doing it by, oh man, I hit a wall, screw this, I'm going to go off the wagon, and then you gain 60 pounds that you lost back.
You have to be disciplined through all seasons. My buddy has a really hard time with this. He's really good at cutting weight. He will follow a plan to a T, but when it comes to taking a break and going back, bringing his metabolism back up, it's like everything is out the window. He just can't follow it. It's like impossible. It just doesn't click in his brain. But like, you got to understand, if you're cutting really hard and you've lost 30 pounds and you're only eating like 1,400 or less calories a day, like, you can't eat like that for the rest of your life. It's not like you have to go back to normal eventually. If you go slowly and if you do it correctly, you can bring your metabolism back to a regular spot without gaining a whole lot of fat, just like a regular amount, maybe a pound or two, and then the rest is water weight. But then you can go on living life like normal, but you have to be very structured and get it back to that point. You can't just, eat pizza and beer and drink and have whatever you want the moment your cut is done, because then you will gain all your weight back and it won't really work. So
and you will still have much more freedom and fun than you did in the cutting phase, right? Because you can have a bit more beer and pizza, but you just have to eat healthy the rest of the time. No, very, very true. Next thing I'll say is cardio is important, right? Cardio is very helpful, but as much as you can, prioritize strength training. Right? Unless you're a total noob and you maybe have a lot of injuries and aches and pains and you cannot strength train and walking is the only thing you can do. Sure, walking is great. Probably should be step one for most people. But after that, invest your time first in resistance training with focus on building muscle if you're a beginner, or at least on maintaining muscle if you're not. And then if you have more time after that, if you're working out 3 hours a week already, resistance training, and you have more time after that, sure, then do more cardio. But don't prioritize cardio as number one, because you will get probably less bang for your buck, big picture, if you just did it and no resistance training.
Yeah. But if you are starving and you're having a very hard time with dieting and you're hitting a plateau, then you should add cardio and not decrease your calories. That's
but if you have time to do so, right? The reality is, on the show, people had this was their job, right, to do that. Real people with families and kids, if you only have 2-3 hours to work out a week, probably do resistance training. You'll get more benefit from it.
Yep. I agree with that. I'm pretty happy. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with those points. That covers pretty general strokes. So
I would say so. I would say with food, try to prioritize protein. Try to get more whole foods, fruits, vegetables, high fiber foods, beans. We did an episode recently on top 5 fats, carbs, and proteins. Listen to that; it will be helpful. But big foods that actually help you stay full while you are in the deficit. All right. So let's say you lost the weight, right? You lost the 20 pounds you wanted to lose, the 40, let's say 100 pounds you wanted to lose, right? So what are some tools or maybe some hacks, mentality you should have to keep that weight off long term?
We kind of touched on it a little bit. Just go back to a normal state very slowly, and it requires a lot of patience and a lot of self-control. It's very hard. Because you can, if you are done dieting, you spend a week eating a bunch of garbage, even maybe not a month, maybe even 2 weeks, eating like 5,000 calories a day, you won't gain all your weight back at once. And if you stop that after 2 weeks, you will go back to a relatively normal state. But you'll probably gain like 2 or 3 pounds of unnecessary fat.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just spend like a full month, even increase your calories by like 100 calories every day, every other day, go really slow, stay healthy, you'll get back to a point where you have a fair amount of calories. You can even do like, I don't know, every 3 to 7 days increase your calories. But you just need to go really slow and be really patient. The slower you go and the more patient you are, the more reasonably your metabolism will adapt, and the higher you'll be able to go without gaining any fat. You can go faster than that, but you'll gain more fat. So if you have the self-control and you can be patient, then you just go slow, track your calories. Like, it's harder. It can be harder than the actual diet itself, like the losing weight, honestly. So.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm a proponent of not going too far into the cut.
Yeah.
Because let's say you went an extra 2 weeks, you lost another pound of fat, but that meant that you're gonna want to cheat for the next 2 weeks after that, and you gain 2 pounds of fat, right? So like, what the heck? You wasted 3 weeks, right? So stop sooner and take a break sooner instead of like binging and relapsing almost. No, that's very good advice. And be okay with initial weight gain, right? If you're going back to maintenance phase, or in bulking, it's easier. But like, in the same way that you lost 10 pounds in the first week or first 2 weeks, the same thing will happen when you start eating back to normal, right? You will gain water weight. You will gain a little bit of fat in the beginning. It's okay. Just be expecting the initial weight gain. It is hard when you're like, oh, I lost 30 pounds. And then you gained like 10 back in the first 2 weeks. And like, well.
Yeah.
But you still lost 20 pounds, right?
Yeah.
That initial water weight gain happens to everybody. So just be prepared for it, and don't let it kind of bring you down into negative mentality.
And it depends on how far you are on the cut when that happens. Like,
yeah.
For me, like right now, I might go down to like 166 pounds, and then spend a weekend somewhere not at home and eat silly, and I'll gain like 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that far into the cut. But if I weighed 130 pounds and I did that, then I would gain like 10 plus pounds.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, the answer to pretty much everything is just to be patient and also go slow. That's
you have to be reasonable. Don't expect the things you see in magazines and journals and social media, like on TV. It's not real life, right? They make it sound like it's achievable for most people, and it's not achievable for almost anybody.
And don't yo-yo diet, as they say. That's like the easiest trap for probably everyone to fall in. If you're at the end of the cut, you go off the wagon for 2 weeks, you feel fat and disgusting, and you hate yourself, and you want to jump back into a deficit immediately. Then you spend another 2 weeks and you lose all the weight that you just gained, and then you feel bad, and you just go like this the whole time. If you do that, if you binge eat and you feel like you've gained all your weight back, just don't panic. Go back to like a slightly less than maintenance calories, and slowly go back up to maintenance. It'll be significantly better to do that, even if you did gain 3 pounds of fat that you didn't need to gain. Like, just live with it. Yeah. And it's so bad for your body to do ups and downs, and it messes up your metabolism so much, and you look so bad too. Like, your physique looks so bad when you do it. It's crazy. It happens to me. Like, it happens to everyone, I'm sure. Like, even like right now when I'm cutting, I look good for a week. I go on vacation, I eat weird, and then I go home and I don't eat at all, and I just look like soft and gross and ridiculous.
Flabby. I totally hear that.
But it's so odd though, because then you spend like 3 days dieting normally, and you look completely normal. You look better at the end, and you look good. Stick
to the plan as long as you can, right? Don't be stubborn either, right? If it's time to switch something up and you haven't seen progress in the last 3-4 weeks, okay, let's switch it up. Do something that works for you. But also don't switch every 2 weeks. Like, it's not a good idea for most people. I would say once you are into maintenance phase, and probably have some accountability would be helpful, right? It's good to have accountability at any point in time. But especially when you're maintaining, because it's so easy to be like, oh, well, I lost weight once, I can lose it again. And then you go off of weight, you gain 30 pounds. You're like, oh, crap. I want to start. I don't want to start over, right? So having accountability helps. Having a workout partner, having a coach, a trainer, super helpful, right? But yeah, definitely a good idea to stay accountable to somebody and not just yourself, because it's so easy to break a promise to yourself. Yeah. So easy, because nobody else will hear, right? But if you told somebody about it, especially a professional, especially a coach, I think you have more encouragement to stick to it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Accountability is really big for losing weight, for especially for new people. Like, honestly, when you hire a coach, most of your money is just going to having someone to be accountable to. Like, honestly, like that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. If you struggle with losing weight, I would recommend hiring a coach. Like, I don't know, Alex and I do it. Someone local probably does it. When you're paying somebody to like have you lose weight, it's a lot harder to like go against it, I think.
Yeah, and it helps if they know what they're talking about, right? If they get good programs, give you good goals. But yeah, 100%. Somebody who is just invested because you paid them, right, in your success, it's helpful. It's helpful. Yeah. But choose your coach wisely, right? Don't choose somebody who's
with you. Care about you.
Right. I've definitely heard of coaches who like check in with their clients like once a month, and it's a 15-minute call.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've heard some like nightmare stories of like TikTok viral coaches who charge thousands of dollars, and they like don't even check in with you. It's like literally like once a month, and it's over text, and it's like
and you have to
2
like
sentences, and like, oh man, it's crazy.
You have to use common sense. And like, I actually in the past I had somebody ask me like, how many active clients do you have? And I told them, and they were like, and I think they asked me because like, how much time do you really have to spend with me, basically, right? And I think I have a reasonable number at the time. Mm-hmm. So it's a really good question to ask your coach. It's like, hey, how many active clients do you have? And if they tell you 500, just recognize that it's a different kind of system, right?
It's not going to be personal. Like,
it's not going to be personal.
Generally, I think from what I can tell, like 50 clients is kind of where most people cap out. And that's
because you can't help otherwise.
That's a full-time job at that point.
It's a full-time job. You can't help otherwise. You really can't, right? So yeah,
it's hard to like remember. It's hard to remember who's who if you have that many people. Like
100%.
I specifically don't advertise my coaching that often because I don't want to go over like 10 to 20 people, because then it's going to be, I have to choose that or YouTube work, and it's going to be too many. So like, 10 seems anywhere around 10 for me is like the really sweet spot. But I'd like to do more, and slowly, Anyways, I was gonna say, what's the amount of time, the minimum amount of time that you would recommend someone doing a maintenance phase for?
Maintenance phase, so basically where they
you pause from the cut,
just take a break from dieting, break from dieting.
Maintenance. Yeah, what's the minimum amount of time that you would recommend?
Minimum, if your goal is to build up your metabolism, after dieting, after you successfully lost weight, I would say minimum 2 months. I wouldn't do any less than that, because you can get to a decent like mental break, I think, after maybe 4 weeks. Yeah. Right. But if you actually want to bring your metabolism up and increase your maintenance calories, I'll probably do at least 2 months.
Hey, respectable. I was gonna say 1 month. I respect the 2 months though. I would prefer someone do like 3 months, honestly, or more, like 3 to 4 months. And even like, if you take 3 or 4 months, you'll be able to bring your calories up and up and up too. So,
right. Yeah. It really depends on the client, right? If for them primarily it was a mental break, like I just mentally can't stick to it, but they're still eating like 2,400 calories and they're losing weight, right? But they just can't do it mentally because life is stressful and it's too much. Then it's just a mental break. We're fine, right? They'll increase the calories a little bit, but they can go back to cutting because it was never about the calories themselves. But if it's truly like they're eating 1,500 calories a day and it's a guy and he's working out, and then like, okay, you're just too far in. You need to take a break. We need to slowly increase your calories back to maintenance and then cut again. Yeah. So it really, there's no one answer. Mentally, at least a month. To bring up the calories, I would say at least 2, but often longer, like you said. Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's a really good question. All right. Good, man. And I think maybe the last thing I would mention for long-term success, and I think it works for most people, is mentality shift towards health, right? Now, it's not for everybody. I know some people need to have specific goals and they like numbers, and for that, and that's why having a coach can be helpful once again, because they can kind of give you direction in that area. But if I had to give an overarching advice how to succeed with your health and fitness journey long term, is to prioritize health, right? Prioritize how you feel. Prioritize how is your energy, how is your mental health, how is your physical health, how's your confidence, how is your strength, right? How's your relationship with other people? How is your enjoyment of life? And if that is all consistently improving with your health and fitness, then you're on the right track. And if it's going down, like your quality of life is worse, your relationships are worse, your mental health is worse, maybe adjust your journey or kind of look at your priorities a little bit.
Yep. It's all about mindset and vision and perspective. And like if you go on social media and you see someone who looks better than you and it makes you feel bad, like just unfollow every single bodybuilder that you follow.
Take a break from social media if you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's very easy trap to fall into. So I don't say it's easy to do that, but yeah. Comparing yourself to others is almost always a negative.
And if you look at yourself in the mirror and you feel awful, just stop looking at yourself in the mirror. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Look at other markers, right? Yeah. Like, especially if it's not helping you. Like, if you're not...
It can be good motivation, but if it's just making you depressed, then...
Yeah, look at other markers. Focus on strength for a while. Like, truly focus on if you're, like, depressed or you're just unhappy about your physique and you're just, like, not seeing your progress, spinning your wheels, focus on other markers of health, right? Focus on getting stronger for a while. You'll probably be better off and you actually probably will lose some weight and get better results by doing that.
When we're all 60, 70, all these gains will be gone anyways. So
when we're all 60, 70, what will matter for us is being able to play with our grandkids, to be pain and injury free, to have good enough mental health to socialize with people. Like those few things, you won't really care how you look as long as you have those other things.
Yep.
So that's really good. I like that. Awesome, man. One more thing I want to mention is actually very on point, is on the show, some of the contestants would take caffeine pills because they would work out like 6 to 8 hours a day, which is ridiculous if you do it 7 days a week. So they would do caffeine pills and they would help them not eat, right? And help them work out.
Yep.
I do that through energy drinks and coffee, right? So like, I sympathize with it. That's not the way to go long term. That's why we do caffeine breaks. That's why we, switch to decaf or lower caffeine beverages. Very easy to fall into. I fall into it all the time. A few months from now, I'll be like, I'm taking another caffeine break because I did the same thing. Just be aware of it. Caffeine is a great tool, but it can be detrimental.
Yes, it can. I want to shout out. You might have seen it. There's a British show where they diet swap. It's a very underweight person and a very overweight person. I used to love this show. Like a few years ago when I was dieting all the time, I would watch this show quite a lot. I really liked it. And this show was actually way better. It's like a healthy version of America's Biggest Loser. It's a good show. It's actually good. It gives some interesting perspectives. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember. But like it's fun. Usually the show is they put a obese person and a severely underweight person in the same house for like a week or something, and they have them swap diets. I don't know if it's a full week or not, but whatever. Usually they get really grumpy with each other because their diets are so like awful to follow for both of them, and but that it gives them a perspective shift, and then they check on these people like in a few months. The obese person loses weight, the underweight person gains weight. And it's like just trying to like actually promote health and like healthy lifestyle and stuff, and they don't I don't know, force them into all these wacky diets and stuff. I don't know. I liked it.
It's just reality too, because like here's what I actually eat. Here's what you actually eat.
Yep.
You do that, you'll gain weight. You do that, you'll lose weight. Simple as that, right? Yeah. It's called a super size versus super skinny.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still there, but they're on YouTube, so.
Yeah, very, very fun. I've seen a few episodes. Pretty cool. It was always so funny watching the bigger person. Like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, it's fun. And it gives cool perspective too, because like the skinny person, like the overweight person has to watch the skinny person like suffer through eating all this food and realize just like how kind of disgusting their diet is and like how terrible this is for a regular, not regular, but like a other person on the other end of the spectrum for them. And the skinny person gets to see how little they really are eating and like how unhealthy that is. So.
Yeah. And to go a little bit on that topic is just recognize that number one, your health is your own responsibility, right? So you can't blame anybody else for it. But number two, have some grace for the other person, because it is obesity or being underweight or any of those things is a complex issue. Genetics are involved, family history is involved, abuse and depression and all kind of things are involved in that, right? So like the obese person probably doesn't want to be obese. They've made choices from who knows what, that it is their responsibility, right? But have some grace in the fact that like they're probably quite unhappy in that body and they probably do want to get healthier. So just recognize that it's a complex issue.
Yeah.
I think it's your health is your responsibility. So never going to be like you can be healthy at every size. I think your responsibility is take care of your health. But at the same time, it is a complex issue.
Yeah. Have compassion, be merciful and supportive.
Very good. All right. I think it's a great note to end the show.
Yeah.
All right. If you are ready to start your fitness journey, go to grimdarkgains.com for an 8-week Nerds Complete Guide to Nutrition and Fitness, where we actually walk you through how to lose weight, gain weight, build muscle, cardio, supplements. Everything is covered in a step-by-step, week-by-week process. For more Warhammer and fitness content, check out our Instagram page, grim_dark_gains, where you can find a link to our Discord. You can find Eli at Deadlifts for the Dark Gods on Instagram and YouTube, and myself at _FitHammer on Instagram and FitHammer on YouTube. Thank you, and until next time, stay Warhammer strong.
Yeah. Love you all. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Bye.